Look at this. It is juicy, it is tender, and it's barbecue meat. And the best thing is, it is still affordable. But the catch is, you can't tell anyone about it.
Big thanks to Masterbuilt for sponsoring this video.
I have maybe found the last affordable piece of barbecue meat there is. Price is rising fast, I know. And I needed this because I just wanted to do a test on the new Masterbuilt AutoIgnite, a low and slow cook. And therefore I needed some proper barbecue, but still in an affordable price. Because, you know, if it goes wrong, we wasted all the money on expensive brisket and stuff. And this might also be very, very tasty. Let's get it ready for the Masterbuilt. I'd like a little bit of crust on this meat, so I'm going to add a binder. Now normally you don't have to add a binder to this because there's moisture, and just with a little bit of barbecue rub, it will definitely stick to it. However, I want a thick layer of flavor, and I'm going to use the pitmasterx classic barbecue rub to season it with. And I'm just going to go in, and I haven't rubbed that mustard in yet. I'm just gonna make one big mess out of it. It's almost like creating a marinade on the outside of this meat. Gonna mix it in real good. Now these aren't the most beautiful pieces, but they're nice chunks. Something that you can just tear up with your teeth, straight out of your hand. It's real finger food. And I really don't know why street food hasn't picked up on this yet. Because to buy this is still so cheap. And if you look at it, like these little snacks with a little sauce on the side that you can dip, that's gonna be so good. Now I already did a couple of cooking sessions on the Masterbuilt AutoIgnite, and it turned out to be a pretty nifty backyard barbecue. You can cook many things on it, including baking bread. If you're using charcoal with this grill, you might as well get some Masterbuilt charcoal. And the cool thing about this charcoal is that it is made out of these small chunks, smaller chunks. And these smaller chunks are important because if you want to light this up, you need the first chunks of charcoal to really catch fire. And that's why if you're using Masterbuilt lump charcoal, you're doing the right thing. I got 3 chunks here, and this is pecan, whatever it is, smoke wood. And I'm going to put a chunk in, and then I'm going to add another layer of smoke wood. I'm going to add another layer of charcoal, that's my bad. Another chunk of smoke wood, more charcoal, more smoke wood. There we go, all the way filled up just underneath the ledge. You do want to make sure you're going to close that lid all the way. Then I'm going to take a fire starter like this, and I like to open it up a little bit, like get some of that wind in, that fresh air. And then underneath here, there's a slide that I can open up, and there's a sled there that I'm gonna push that fire starter in, put it back in, close it up, and here comes the cool part. Now I actually only have to push 2 buttons. Turn it on, hit the AutoIgnite button, let's go. Smoking temps, 120 degrees Celsius. There we go, that's it. It took 10 minutes for the Masterbuilt to get up to temperature, and look at that, we got pretty smoke coming from the barbecue. Now it's time to put our special meat in. Look at that, wow. I'm gonna load this grill up completely, get everything on, our beautiful little barbecue snacks. And as you can see, we got plenty of smoke coming from that smoker box, that charcoal hopper. You don't have to worry really about overlapping the meat if you have a little too much, like me, because the meat will shrink, and then you will get plenty of room to readjust it a little bit. The one thing that I want to say though that I've noticed is don't go too close to the firebox, because this is where the heat is. So I want to stay away from it directly touching this box. But as you can see, I can still get pretty close and use all of the surface of the grill grates. Now let's close this. Let the automated function do its job. We're gonna need at least 2 hours of smoke. I don't know what you're gonna do. Is maybe have a beer, jump in the pool. The ribs are picking up a nice bit of smoke color, and that means we're getting closer and closer to the end result. But I want to brush on a little bit of barbecue sauce. And today we're going to make the easiest barbecue sauce and the best tasting barbecue sauce you've ever had, which is the pitmasterx sweet apple barbecue sauce. Now this is so simple. You're going to take your Scotchburg pan, put in a cup of ketchup, A quarter cup of good quality apple juice. Make sure you got a good apple juice. This is important, it matters. The apple juice is going to decide on how good your barbecue sauce is going to be. So none of that cheap, crazy, crappy stuff. Now normally I would now put in some Worcester sauce or wash your sister sauce, but we're gonna replace that with some ketchup mayonnaise. I wanna make it a little bit different than I normally do, but the normal regular recipe of course is on our website. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of that ketchup mayonnaise, as well as a tablespoon of the pitmasterx classic barbecue rub, and then 2 tablespoons of honey, or more if you like more, and 2 tablespoons of sugar. And personally, I prefer cane sugar. It just has a little bit more flavor. Bring it to a slow simmer, and then after a minute, you can switch off the heat, put it in a jar, and store it until you need it. Of course, all of the recipes are on our website, as well as the recipe for our seasoning. Now you can buy this in a barbecue store, or you can just make it yourself. Now we got that slow simmer. I'm gonna add a little bit more smoke wood just to make sure that we got that nice smoky flavor. Even though we're getting close, I just want a little bit more. And I'm gonna quickly close the lid, let the barbecue get up to temperature, put in some more smoke and get that beautiful smoke color on those delicious snacks. It's been 2.5 hours and I just measured the core temperature. And the core temperature is 92 degrees Celsius. And since these, you might have guessed it already, are rib tips. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Rib tips can be expensive if you cut them off the spare. Maybe I should start with what are rib tips. If you have a whole rack of rib, not the baby back, but just what the rest that sits below it. That is called the spare rib. And then if you trim it down to a St. Louis style cut, then the waist of it is called rib tips. Now, if you do it yourself, you can get a whole strang of it. However, if you let the butcher do it for you, he will take those scraps and offer it, well, at least in the Netherlands, they offer it as a base for a soup. Traditionally, it's very, very cheap. And Dutch people absolutely love this stuff. They use it to make split pea soup with. If we buy that same stuff and use it to make barbecue with, all you need to do is just smoke it, put a little bit of that barbecue rub on, and with a little extra barbecue sauce, they're gonna get another layer of flavor. And it's going to make them super nice, sweet and sticky. Of course, I'm gonna flip these around, brush in the other side as well. Oh, I love that shine. The pork fat and the barbecue sauce coming together, building up that flavor. Classic pitmasterx barbecue rub, sweet apple barbecue sauce with ketchup mayonnaise. Oh, this stuff is going to be so good. And you see that the back without the sauce doesn't look half as good as with the sauce. This food kind of needs the sauce to become extraordinary. Instant transformation. Render down fat and barbecue sauce. That's like a match made in heaven. I'm gonna close the lid for another 5 minutes. Oh, and then finally it's gonna be taste testing time. Oh, they look even better. Look, this is what I'm looking for. The caramelization of the sauce, the sugars, not burning, but like caramelized. That is what I'm looking for. That is the best thing ever. Every time I do this, one of these things falls, and I'm gonna promise you, this time I won't let any of them fall. Oh, who's not getting hungry? If you're watching this and you're not getting hungry, there's something seriously wrong with you. This is just winning at barbecue while not even playing. You're not even playing the game, you're winning it anyway. Look at that, perfect snack size. Now, I wanted to say something smart, but after one bite I lost it all. All the smart things to say. I can just tell you it tastes good. I just want beer and good barbecue. There's like one little catch-all. These are cheap for a good reason, because they're called the rib tips, and it means the cartilage bone is in this meat. Honestly, I don't even care. That's how good this is. Don't forget to check out our website, pitmasterx.com. All the recipes are on it, and it's an amazing website.